first guest is an actor, director, and writer who has been nominated for 4 Academy Awards, beating me out by 2. His latest film is a musical version of Shakespeare's Love's Labour's Lost. Let's take a look.
Did not I dance with you in Brabant once?
Did not I dance with you in Brabant once?
I know you did.
How needless was it then to ask the question?
I won't dance, don't ask me. I won't dance, don't ask me. I won't dance, miss you with you. My heart will let my feet do things they should do.
You know what? You're lovely.
And so what? I'm lovely.
But oh, what you do to me. I'm like an ocean wave that's bumped on the shore. I feel so absolutely stumped on the floor.
Bam! Please welcome Kenneth Branagh. Thank you for being here.
It's a pleasure to be here. It's always nice
Great to have you on this big Wednesday show. Yeah, don't be confused. This is, I gotta say, this has got to be a hard sell, this movie.
It was a tough sell.
Because you're saying not only, hey, Hollywood money guys, I want to make a Shakespearean play.
Yeah.
I want to make one of the more obscure Shakespearean plays.
Yeah.
And make it a musical.
Yeah, this was tough because when I first suggested it, first of all, it's very hard to say Love's Labour's Lost. It's like a kind of speech exercise. So a lot of people say, love is lost, or love lost. So people couldn't say it. So
did they try and give it a Hollywood name like Death Kill 5000?
You see, well, actually, that'll be the title on video. You know, that'll be part of the...
They're buddy cops.
He was a guy, she was a girl. They exploded with passion.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
From a land that time forgot, from a people you don't care about, comes a very indifferent mixture.
In fact, what we...
I'd love to see that.
We had to say, you know, it's the one play in 37 of Shakespeare's that wasn't performed for 200 years after he died. They said, why? I said, oh, don't worry about that. They said, yeah, well, so how are you going to do it? I said, well, I'll do it as a musical. They said, oh, I see, a genre in film that hasn't worked for about 30 years. Brilliant. What a great idea.
Right.
How amazing nobody's thought about that, Suicide Man.
But here's $20 million. Go make it.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, what I did was I just locked them up in a darkened room, you know, just a little piece of paper with a check, you know, written on it for them to sign.
Now, this is also one of Shakespeare's longest plays, right?
In the full-length version, in the film, it's only 93 minutes of fun-packed, exciting, romantic marvelousness.
Sounds terrific. Yeah. I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
So you cut Shakespeare, which is a weird thing to do. You're like, Shakespeare cut, you know.
Well, it's funny. I mean, people would say, I'd say to friends that I'm doing this, and they go, yeah, actually, I haven't read Love's Labour's Lost for a little while. You go, you haven't read Love's Labour's Lost? You know,
I never say, when people say to me, like a classic that I haven't read, I never go, you know what, I never read that. I always go, yeah, a long time ago, a little hazy.
Yeah, and then, so you can feel in as you go, it's a little bluffers thing.
Right.
Yeah, it's when people trick you, don't you? They say, well, do you remember that lovely scene where the guy kills the girl with an axe? And yeah, there was no scene where the guy killed the girl with an axe.
Who does that? What kind of animal are you? What kind of monster are you?
It's been done to me, I tell you, by the dinner party Nazis. You know, the people who are just
right,
like, another one down.
Gotcha.
You know. And, you know, they've got some kind of bluffer's guide under the table there, you know. Because you can get all those kind of one-page versions of War and Peace or Hamlet or whatever.
Just to learn enough to try and make someone look stupid at a party.
Exactly.
Which is what education is for, in my opinion.
I think so.
You're using very young actors in this. Young American actors, Alicia Silverstone,
Matthew Lillard
from Scream, and so you're using these really young people in conjunction with great, you know, British stage actors. Is that right?
We've done it with some of the other films, and I always think it works great. I like different accents, like different, you know, cultural backgrounds and everything. And it's fun because you get 65-year-old Richard Briers, who's been in a lot of my films, who was constantly moaning about the fact that he had to dance. Being approached after a number where Richard's there, you know, next to an oxygen tent, puffing away.
Right.
And Matthew comes and goes, hey, Red, whoa, way to go! Way to go, Dickie!
And his arm rips off.
Yeah, exactly. And Matt used to get us into these. Matt used to get us into these huddles. What do American footballers say in those huddles? What happens when everybody, you know?
Well, as a jock, I'd love to tell you.
Yeah. Is it like sort of Masonic thing?
Yeah, they talk about the next play.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
They talk about.
Yeah.
Hey, you see the uncut version of Hamlet? Okay.
Now, we have to ask you about this photo, which just, this is you at Cannes. Yeah, there's a photo here. This is you. I don't like to be abrupt here, but this is a photo taken of you at Cannes getting massaged with no shirt on by Heidi Klum.
Yeah.
Explain for the jury what the hell's going on here.
Well, the really disturbing thing is I have larger breasts than Heidi Klum there. Which is so worrying.
Yeah, man, Kenneth, you got a rack.
Oh, man. I tell you, the other thing, and it was hard to watch, is just the blistering tan. Probably like me, you share this Irish ability.
I don't know what you're talking about. I do not take my shirt off at gunpoint.
Oh, man.
Because you are Irish as I am.
As Irish as the day is green.
We don't, people say to me, well, can you get a tan? I don't, there's no way to get a tan.
It's just, unless I could spend the rest of my life trying to tan. In fact, before this happened, not with any foreknowledge of being manhandled by Miss Klum, I did...
And that was for charity, right?
That was for charity, of course.
Right, let's just explain finally what happened.
Yes, it was for charity.
Okay.
It was for charity. I should have been given away to charity after that picture, but it was for an AIDS benefit at Cannes. But I had tried to get a tan a couple of weeks ago. You know, one of the days of the English summer had arrived, confusingly, in spring. So I decided, my garden isn't overlooked, so I took my whole kit off and decided I'd go out and do, you know, because there's always, when I do try and get a tan, there's always a bit here or a bit there, you know. So I did the whole thing, and I must say, it took me 45 minutes to get oiled up. And by that stage, I'd just given up. I'd had enough. I went back in and had a cup of tea. Because you've got that bit round the back, you know, you can't get between your shoulder blades, and it's a nightmare.
I have a hose that just dispenses.
Do you?
Yeah, number 80 SPF.
You should patent that.
They should. That's the only way you can really do it, is if they made a booth that you walked into naked and you were pummeled in like 3 seconds with number 50 sunblock.
You can go to those places. I'm not sure if it's for a suntan.
Because it's not manly.
But I don't know.
Well, we're out of time. There is another booth where you need to be oiled up, but let's... You know, it's always the Shakespearean actors that come out here and drag this show into the gutter.
I'd like to apologize. I'd very much like to apologize.
Love's Labor's Lost, soon to be Death Kill 5000.
Exactly, which you said brilliantly.
Is going to open on Friday, so check that out. And Kenneth Branagh, very cool to have you on as always.
Thanks ever so much.
Penn and Teller are coming up. We'll be right back.